that before we do, we need that recorded.
We try to put them in places like, make sure they're not going to be in the way of a parked car, because if the car's parking in front of them, our guys can't access them as easily. And, we try to put them like near something that's going to maybe take the hit before the trash can. So strategic about the place, but yeah, they still get ran over and something. Maybe a semi truck comes by, the trailer drags across it, and just, usually Dwayne will be the one to see it. He's often here pretty quick, but we'll come remove that and get it replaced. So really, we're all street receptacles. On Wednesday mornings, we do like downtown trash. Because even though we're, the metal cans every day, we have residents downtown who are putting out their, green trash cans. And we send a couple of trucks around that morning also to dump all the green cans. So I don't think that's really something we would need like assistance with.
Tuesday night, you're going to see the streets with a lot of trash cans and a lot of bags out. So we will come by Wednesday morning and get that collected.
Yeah, we kind of got into a routine where we try to shoot out Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, if our guys are caught up and we have time, and someone's put their can out for Wednesday, we'll go ahead and dump it so they can get it off the street. But then we do come at 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning and get all the street receptacles and you get the green cans. So I mean, it could be something that maybe usually they'll call in, or somebody you find a green can out on Wednesday that's just slammed full of trash. They've probably put it out behind us, or it's gotten missed for some reason. So if you could let us know that, we can come by and get that as well.
Do you have an issue with people going through the trash and kind of making a mess around it?
Yeah, because we'll tag carts sometimes for like loose trash, and then sometimes you can obviously tell nothing was bagged, but then usually the owner will call and they're like, "Well, I had everything in bags, but they dug through all the bags and opened them up."
That happens a lot. We have our trash can put out on Tuesday nights, and so it's a real struggle, particularly on our street, for people to go through.
Your street? Oh, on Haywood.
On Haywood.
Yeah. In the woods.
It really gross out there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's
and
an
also just be careful what
opportunity.
you put in our trash can, because people will go through it.
So that's an opportunity first thing when we get in, is to like note where a bag has been torn apart probably. And
And also bears. I mean, I know it's probably not
Downtown.
that frequently downtown,
Wait
but
till
we
you
do
want
have
to go
bears
They'll be
downtown.
downtown.
Yeah.
And if we find like busted open bags like that, our crews are good. They're not just going to grab the bags and roll off. They'll grab all the loose stuff as they can. They don't have like a broom out there. It's like a bunch of packing peanuts or something. Usually, like we'll get as much as we can, and then we'll like roll on, so we have to get the route up, and then we'll let Dwayne or somebody know. Yeah, hopefully with you guys being here, that would help some of that. I guess ideally too. So we'll give all of our contact info. If we can get like at some point the best contact info for y'all, like who's going to be the main point.
We have
and
a
how that's
number.
gonna work.
It's 877-828-ADID.
I'll have to get that after this meeting.
You can remember 828-ADID.
Yeah. So we'll reach out to you guys that way. And then other than that, we also have Danny's dumpster. Well, we don't, but he's a private contractor who does a lot of the downtown trash for like commercial. So they do like composting. I think Wednesday morning is their one day that they do composting. Every other day they're doing trash. So you'll see like a pickup truck dragging a trailer behind it with bags hanging off the side. So that's him picking up.
is there a
trash.
compost center downtown, or like people's home compost, or how does that?
No, I think what they're picking up is just like the black cans that have the green liners in them that restaurants are composting to reduce like their trash waste. And they come in like a box truck typically. We see them on Wednesday mornings. They'll do like a lift gate and bring them into the back of their truck, and they'll put out the new cans, kind of trade them out, but then they take them off site to another composting area.
Great.
So he does handle that, but he's also on the other days picking up like there may be some trash bags on the sidewalk, and we kind of worked really hard to make sure that we know like what we're getting and who's paying for city services versus who's paying for his services. So I have to kind of like stay in communication with Andy's occasionally to make sure we're not overlapping each other. I mean, sometimes I might get some of his stuff, he might get some of ours, but generally speaking, we kind of know who
Do you
gets
know
what.
across the street from the Rue, that parking lot that the Flatiron is using for valet?
What's going on?
There's always like multiple bags of trash out there.
Not familiar with it.
Okay, like
Maybe,
right across
yeah.
the street from the Rue. I took a picture of it and I can send it to you, but I was just curious about that because now that you say that, it might have been different bags, but I feel like the same bags have been out for months.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
maybe we
Just let me know the address. We can
Okay.
check it out. And another, I'm often not downtown. I'm one of the downtown supervisors, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not downtown because I'm all over the city. So it's like, a lot of stuff downtown I may not know about myself. I'm down at there saying, "Hey, Wes, we got to replace a lock. I'll go fix the can," or fix the doggy station, whatever it is. I'm usually out doing something else. My crews are all over the city during the day. So oddly enough, I'm not like a dedicated downtown supervisor, but if there is something to do with the receptacle or trash or code enforcement, if you let me know, that I do come out, I can address that. So it's not like I'm on patrol, unfortunately.
Yeah, the 100 other things he's doing
Yeah.
every day.
But that's kind of the biggies. I mean, the receptacles are kind of what we deal with, you know, like it's every day of the week we're dumping them. We just want to know, like, is there an issue with them? Is the
When you say
business-
code enforcement, what type of things are we looking out for that?
usually like environmental, like for trash, like if a restaurant's putting out trash bags, like anything in food has to be in a can. There's like something that's leaking out onto the sidewalk or into the stormwater drains. If the carts are getting left out after collection, technically they have to have their green carts pulled in by 11 p.m. on their day of collection, which would be Wednesday. We kind of give some leeway to like the alleyways, oftentimes like Lindgren Alley and Carolina Alley, a few of those, like they just kind of leave them there and they don't tend to wander off. Sometimes they do, but you know, we're also in charge of like repairing carts. If something needs a lid or it's broken or cracked or missing, we have to go find it and return it and, you know, keep that inventory up. So.
And what about stormwater? Is that a different group? Because we will be doing some pressure washing, so
Yeah.
that's a different group.
Who's do we know the contact with that? Yeah, it'd be a different group.
Yeah,
So,
that would be like Chad and Jonathan, the group.
What about in the fall and the leaf debris? How,
I guess that would also fall onto like streets and
Streets.
stormwater.
Yeah,
Because they're doing stormwater, I guess they're doing the street sweeping, right? The stormwater.
stormwater would be street sweeping.
So like if you think streets does the street sweeping, but it's stormwater because the leaves can go into the drain, so they'll send the sweepers.
And then Chris Daniels also has a sweeper that comes through every night and he'll go through his process with you.
Okay.
So go through that.
And I think he's here later. So yeah, they're doing some like trash pickups and graffiti removal and street sweeping, things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of overlap, it seems like, with what we do. Not so much, but yeah, you can look at us like the sanitation, we do the trash and like any kind of, you know, environmental issues that may come from trash or code enforcement about cans getting left out or, you know, anything like that. So, or if like a business owner comes out and was like asking you a bunch of questions about why there isn't a receptacle here or why is it in front of my business, you know, maybe you can relay that to us if you catch that more than we do. Just to see
I have
if
a
it's something we
fake
can
made up
accommodate.
statistic, which is that we have more trash cans per square foot in Asheville than any other city in the world.
We might.
But I made that up, so you're welcome to use that if you'd like. We have a lot of trash.
And then some people will complain, they're like,
That there are not enough.
they're like, I should have to walk a mile to get to the trash cans. And we usually look around and see.
Yeah. We
So,
have a lot of trash.
yeah, we're like 140 or something like that, somewhere in that range.
how often do they get hit by cars or taken offline and
It's not as
replaced?
often as you would think, and then you might get a flurry, like, you know, one or two, you know, in a month's time. So it's not like they're all the time getting hit or anything. We're
And
trying to
how, if
replace
we see a damaged, like really damaged one, how quickly usually does that get replaced?
like we could get it removed immediately that day,
Uh-huh.
assuming it's a business day. If it's like, you know, the weekend, we could still come in and get it. Probably wouldn't get replaced till the next business day. Right now, we're kind of one in, one out with our receptacles until we get a new order in. Maybe we're looking at getting like 10
10.
to like kind of have some like flexibility for, you know, right now we're just kind of rotating them in and out for paint. So I've got 3 in the lot right now that need to come back out. And they already have 3 that they're currently painting. So we're kind of running on carts or receptacles. Yeah, if you say, hey, you know, this one's ran over or damaged in some way that makes it unserviceable or unsightly, we'll come get it out of there. We have a lift gate on a pickup truck that we can just come unbolt it, get it. Usually if they've hit it, it's already unbolted, but we'll move it pretty quickly and try to get it replaced same day if we could. So
Sharps. What, I know there are sharps receptacles around town. Who is responsible for collecting those and who do we call when they're full or?
I don't know that.
So I guess it would depend if it's one of those, like a Sharps, exchange where they just throw them in there, not exchange, but they just dispose of them. I think Buncombe County is over that.
Dropbox.
Technically, it's my understanding that Buncombe County is over that, but
Yeah.
it's been very difficult to get folks to pay attention to it. There is a Sharps container in in the loo, isn't there?
There
There
is.
is, yeah. It's like, I don't know where it goes, but
Thinking park, if it's on the loo, that would probably be parks.
Okay, yeah, we should probably just dig into that because that has been an issue with business owners because sometimes like needles tend to collect in one area and it kind of is like who's on first to get them taken away. So good question. I think we need to get to the bottom.
Yeah, and we'll be training them in handling and we'll probably get our own box for, yeah.
And then there's the Buncombe count, the ones that look really bad in front of the library. So those are huge. So maybe that's a
Can we like make them prettier?
it literally, yeah. That's not a great look. Anyways.
and I guess I was curious too for like, like I said, ideally, if we're dumping the cans daily, they shouldn't be running over. Like if y'all had got to a point where you had to do it or it was becoming an issue for you or happening more frequently, like how would we know? Or is there a way for us to know like how many y'all are dumping?
We collect those statistics
Okay.
and that'll be available in a monthly report.
Yeah.
You'll see
That way we can follow up
every
with the
single needle that
drivers.
we pick up.
We have like 2 trucks that are running half the city each morning. So we'd like to know like is most of these coming from one
I think it was
particular
the trash
driver?
bag.
Oh, trash bags. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The receptacles.
Yeah.
The
Because they get
receptacles.
dumped every day, so if you find out like, hey, guys, we're dumping, 2 or 3 a day, like what's going on? Because like our guys should be emptying them, and they really shouldn't be overflowing that quickly. Like we'd like to know about it instead of it just being like, we find out later that y'all been dumping 15 receptacles every day or something. We're like, whoa, like that shouldn't be happening. Like, know that day that we could.
Yeah.
We used to have a problem with businesses and residences stuffing their trash in the
Yeah.
trash cans. And then we'll go through there and send them a letter. We'll go dig through it,
Yep.
find out who did it, and we'll
Yeah,
send them a
I
letter.
was gonna ask you that, before, for illegal dumping, I haven't seen a lot here, but other cities have a big problem with illegal dumping. That's actually what you said, they dump it right out of the trash can.
Yes.
Do you guys give that to code enforcement or do you guys deal with it?
Just give it to us and, we'll assign it to our code enforcement. Either I'll do it or my code enforcement officer will do it.
And a lot of times our drivers will report it, like they're the same ones, so they'll say like, hey, we've had this particular can getting this particular person's trash in it, and then we'll send those stuff to them. Or it might be that like Mountain Express or some newspaper, like whoever's doing their carrying, they're just dumping them all into the can, so we'll get a hold of them, say, hey, you might want to touch base with your driver, so usually just like some quick education tends to fix our trash dumping issues,
Pizza boxes.
pizza block pies and all that.
They can't fit in the
Yeah.
receptacle.
I don't see somebody like trying to stuff a whole bag and they like I pulled up on a lady one time. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just putting this in here. She couldn't even get it to fit. She's like, oh, I'll live up here. I was like, no, like, it's not for that. And she pulls it out and runs across the street, throws it back in her car and drives off. You run into some characters. But yeah, you don't see that a whole lot. But yeah, you may find something like we'll get an Asheville app sometimes for a can overflowing. It's just like a Walmart bag, like just kind of wafted at the top and it's completely empty once you push it in there. So it might be something as simple as that, or it might actually be overflowing. Yeah, ours is pretty simple, I think. Pretty straightforward, just keeping the receptacles as tidy as we can. And we'd be the contact for that, or if you have any questions or needs or additional keys or bags or whatever it may be.
Do you guys also, this is probably streets too, barricades for events?
Yeah, it'd be streets.
Streets.
Yeah, Chris, I guess would be the main barricade person, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of our stuff that we can't answer is probably gonna be by Chris. When he gets
Is
here.
he still technically public works?
Yeah.
Or, okay, cool.
Yeah, we're all in the same building. Yeah, it's just kind of a different aspect. He does a lot of like grass mowing and barricades and graffiti and different things like that.
Cool.
Yeah, y'all have any questions for us? We're gonna leave some information, like we'll leave this sheet that we made here with just like the pictures and kind of generally what we do. And then like I got like 85 contact cards here with a cell phone number. I wrote a cell phone number on the top, so that'd be like the ideal way for you to get a hold of me. So.
Great, thank you. We'll get the effort, we're compiling all the information, we'll get it out to everybody. And did you want to, okay, you're gonna leave those
The keys and the front and back of doggy bags.
Love it.
Thank you.
And if you'd like for us to go to a receptacle one day, if you have any questions, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you need to know how to do this, just call us and we'll meet you up there one day.
You left your card.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
8 copies of it
Okay.
here as well. So I'm gonna leave that with the keys and the bags. And like the keys, like I said, they're pretty explanatory. There's gonna be put 2 on each ring. The gold key, the bigger ones for the trash can, recycling bin, the little silver ones for the doggy bin. So, like I said, ideally, if our guys are keeping those stocked up, we have a weekend crew that comes in. Like I'm gonna try to do more on them to keep those from running out. That way we're not like always having to like throw doggy bags your way or anything. I guess our big thing would be like, if we're able to do like any kind of cleaning on the receptacle or wipe down, and or if one does happen to run over, that's where we would need assistance. Because if we dump it at 6 in the morning, we're not back again until 6 the next morning. So.
Very good. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the argument.
Or maybe the best place for us to leave our bag.
Or you guys can take the presentation.